It's a new year and a new you, and unfortunately also a new Republican majority in the House, which means they get to choose committee assignments, which means, oh dear God, what is happening out there? The House Republican Steering Committee, which makes these choices, has placed Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Greene, and Paul Gosar on the House Oversight Committee, which is, in the best of times, an important committee. And these are not the best of times. That's really the only committee where basically anything is gonna be done over the next couple of years. And the idea that you're putting these certifiable madmen and women on there does not bode particularly well. If you're not familiar with these figures, first of all, welcome to 2023, welcome to American politics. Here's why we're concerned. Marjorie Greene has, of course, pushed multiple conspiracy theories about everything, I think, at this point. Is not only going to be on the House Oversight Committee, is also going to be on the Homeland Security Committee, which I think is almost too much. It's like they're jumping the shark, the writers of American politics, to put her on that for reasons we're going to describe. Richie Torres, representative, said, as the former vice chair of the House Homeland Security Committee, I'm horrified that it was just announced that Marjorie Greene will serve on the committee. A QAnon conspiracy theorist and January 6th insurrectionist doesn't belong on a committee that exists to fight extremism. And now you can agree or disagree with Richie Torres. Obviously, he's on the other side of the aisle. I did think it was notable that, in particular, some of the survivors of 9/11 have weighed in on this, including Sharon Promoli, who had been on the 80th floor when the planes hit the World Trade Center, said Mrs. Greene, a 9/11 denialist, knows nothing about 9/11 because she doesn't believe in legitimate investigative journalism or books, believing only the most outrageous conspiracy theories that deny the horror of what happened to 3,000 souls and to the injured survivors on 9/11. And I'm not gonna go through all of the crazy things that Marjorie Greene believes. We've done that in the past. But when it comes to 9/11, she has expressed the belief in videos that the entire thing is a hoax. In particular, she doesn't believe that a plane hit the Pentagon. And so the idea that she would be on the committee that was created in the wake of it and is supposed to safeguard the security of the homeland going forward, when she believes that all of that was made up. And as we'll get into, every other conceivable threat to our safety is also probably a hoax. Seems a bit ridiculous. JR, what do you think?
Well, it's one of those things, once you've identified as a self-serving member of Congress, now you put on the Department of Homeland Security, or at least as far as the committee overseeing this type of stuff, like who are you working for? We already know obviously that she's working for one particular group of people, but where's the trust in that happening? I mean, again, we expected it. McCarthy promised it months before they even won their slight majority in the House. So we knew it was going down, we just didn't know where it was going down. So then the thought then comes, well, why this one? Why not something smaller? We know that she backed him up for that speakership vote over and over and over, 15 times over again. But this is what she gets. I guess it has to be large enough for her to have that kind of, I guess, attempted influence on the whole thing. Maybe he specifically told her it's this one. What is it that she wants to do with it, though? Because each of these folks, each of these Congress people want to be on specific committees, most likely the more powerful ones, because what they're looking for is power. But to do what? Guess we're waiting to see that part.
Yeah, no, I have no doubt that this is why she was such a big supporter of Kevin McCarthy. She asked to be on this committee, she was put on this committee. I mean, she probably also just generally wanted to be on committees again because she hadn't been since she became a representative, but she asked to do this, which is why, by the way, when she was saying, like, during the speaker battle of people like Lauren Boebert and Matt Gaetz, like, this is all self-serving, this is about them wanting things. She had already been given what she wanted. That's a quaint little position from which to attack other people who are just as ridiculous as you. So she got what she wanted. And why wouldn't she want to be on the Oversight Committee? The Oversight Committee is supposed to provide, you guessed it, oversight. Over the next couple of years, the sort of oversight that they will be providing is over, I don't know, whatever a random person says on 4chan about Hunter Biden, or God knows what will be next. And so you're gonna have a bunch of insane conspiratorial hearings that they are going to use to create sound bites. That's all that it's going to be, to raise their profile. They don't have any expectation that they're gonna take down the Biden presidency or put Hunter Biden in prison or anything like that. Dr. Fauci is gonna be, sent to the gallows or something. They want you to believe that. That's not really what it's about. It's about demonstrating to the base that they're the kookiest one of the lot, that they believe the craziest things, and they will have a position from which to do that. And it's really a great gig for Greene because she can show up to one of these things, say something insane with no basis. She doesn't have to do any work. It's not like she's gonna be meeting with constituents over the oversight committee or doing research to put together legislation or anything like this. This is exactly what she needs. It's all of the spotlight and none of the obligation to actually deliver for her constituents. And so it's also a big change for her because, as I alluded to, back in February of 2021, the House voted to strip her of all of her committee assignments, including on the Education Committee, which was always a hilarious place for her to be, because of her racist comments, advocating for violence against politicians, including Nancy Pelosi, and endorsing basically every conspiracy theory that has ever been thought of. By the way, 11 members of the GOP voted to strip her of those committee assignments. It was a big move. Like, you don't generally do that, but it felt like it was necessary for her now, because this is always the way American politics works. The GOP or an individual there does something so insane and dangerous and unprecedented that the norms are violated and there has to be some sort of consequences. And now that the consequences have been reached, the right will use that as justification to do that to whoever they want. And so Schiff or Swalwell or Ilhan Omar, they're gonna be stripped off their committees because now we're in the business of stripping people off of committees. I mean, never mind the fact that Marjorie Greene was liking comments saying that somebody should put a bullet in Nancy Pelosi's head. Let's forget about why she was stripped from her committees. Now it's just something that's done and we're gonna apply it to whoever we want. That's the sick system that we live in.
Yeah, we also find her, there's other aspects. The list I feel like could go on and on. She showed up at Fuentes' white supremacist rally. She openly supported that. She's still talking about the stolen election. Has she disavowed Donald Trump yet? All these things are on her resume, if you would, about what she's been doing already in Congress. But also, look, there's those 11. You said there's 11 Republicans that also voted for her to be off those committees. There's still some disapproving Republicans. They may not be all that vocal right now, but maybe there's some of them are on the Homeland Security Committee. Maybe some of them are going to try and keep her in some kind of check from things that she may want to do. Because again, it is a committee. So I'm trying to at least keep it in perspective for how much power and how much influence she can have, this one person. They may just go the normal crazy route that establishment Republicans like to push rather than the crazy MAGA ones.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, that's my bit of optimism, I guess.
It's just like, and on Homeland Security, I mean, in theory, it's supposed to do some stuff. It's not gonna accomplish anything. Anything crazy that they do is gonna be vetoed or whatever. But like, she doesn't just believe that 9/11 was a hoax. And by the way, now she comes and says, no, it totally happened. I totally believe it. You can't judge me based on the things I said when I was young 3 years ago or whatever. She was a grown woman when she said those things. And by the way, again, not just 9/11. Did you know Sandy Hook, a hoax? Basically every mass shooting, a hoax. Mandalay Bay was a hoax, according to her. And she was so enthusiastic about these, she would film rants of her talking about how she doesn't believe in these things. COVID also a hoax. Basically every threat to the homeland, she doesn't believe is real. So I'm sure she's gonna be a productive member of that committee. And it isn't just her. Paul Gosar, remember, he also lost his committee assignments in November of 2021 when he started posting anime portrayals of him murdering his colleagues. But again, it's all the same thing. I mean, he posted a video of him and Marjorie Greene chopping AOC's head off, and Ilhan Omar's a Muslim. So I guess it's all even, really. That is the approach that the Republican Party has. And again, like we said with Santos and McCarthy, where initially McCarthy is not responsible for the lies that Santos told. Although I would like to amend that a little bit because now he's indicating that he had reason to believe that Santos was lying even before the election. So it's starting to look even more damning for him. But when he refuses to actually condemn Santos, it becomes his problem. We're now seeing the same thing when it comes to the conspiracy theories. Because it is one thing to just have members of your caucus that believe insane, dangerous things. But when you are rewarding them for that, giving them back the positions that have already been stripped from them, that's no longer just their issue. That's your issue now. Kevin McCarthy and the steering committee are giving the stamp of approval to people who believe that virtually every tragedy that has happened in American history was made up. And there's some ulterior explanation, probably involving Jewish people.
As usual, but also one more thing on Gosar, because look, the violence of that post that got him eliminated from that committee, we've got happening in real life. So people may want to say, you guys are hyperventilating over him posting cartoons of murdering a colleague. Well, there's this guy, his name is Solomon Pena. Maybe you've heard of him, John. He's this guy who took that anime thought process and took it straight to his political enemies. Just like what we call the third world countries that have very messed up political systems. These things lead to real violence. Just because he posted it and he's like, I'm just playing around, doesn't mean other folks don't take that to heart. People who want to be elected representatives, like Solomon Pena, not just some crazy person off the street in the middle of Nebraska. This guy was looking to do damage, and yes, children were involved in their homes getting shot at. Bro,
yeah,
they can brush it off as people just gonna forget about it, but the people who then carry out the stuff, they don't forget about it.
Yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned that. We're not doing a full update on it, but I did see that he was apparently dissatisfied with the violence that he paid for. He wanted the shootings to be more aggressive, and he apparently used an AR-15 when he participated in one.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.